Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to NYM, a channel dedicated to wealth building and financial literacy for the younger generation. My name is Christopher Bell, and today we're going to talk about credit cards. Now, I know as soon as I say credit cards, a lot of y'all are ready to click off of this page. You're ready to unsubscribe. Chris, I gotta go. I'm not dealing with any credit cards. But that's okay. That's what you've been trained to think, right? My parents didn't believe in credit cards, believe it or not. So listen to me. If you bear with me for the next few minutes, I promise you I'm going to give you some valuable insight as to why credit cards can be one of the best, absolute best tools you can use to get ahead in your own financial journey. So, number one, the reason why the wealthy use credit cards is rewards, okay? So you're going to get rewards for using credit cards. When you use a debit card or cash and you swipe that debit card and you pay with that cash, that's it. That's the end of the transaction. You get nothing back out of that. When you use a credit card, you get rewards in the form of either cash back or points, depending on what credit card you're using. So number one reason for using credit cards are rewards. Now, if you're wondering how credit card companies can afford to give cash back to the customers that use their credit cards, the way that they're able to do this is via charging the vendor that accepts their credit card a small fee. So for instance, if you go to the store and you buy a soda, a certain percentage of that purchase is going to go back to the credit card company. Now, some credit card companies do charge a higher fee to the vendor than others. So that's why you'll go to some places and they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, but we don't accept that credit card here at this establishment. The second reason why you're going to want to use a credit card over a debit card is theft protection. Okay, so let's say, for example, somebody got a hold of your debit card and they made some fraudulent purchases. Those fraudulent purchases are going to come directly out of your banking account. Now, when they come out of your banking account, you're just pretty much up the creek without a paddle. You're gonna have to go through your bank. It's gonna take X amount of time, and that's time that you are parted away from your money. Okay, that is not a good look at all. I, for one, would be ticked. All right. So when you swipe a credit card, if somebody was, or let's say somebody stole your credit card and they would have swiped that credit card, when they swipe it, basically that fraudulent purchase is a purchase that you are not responsible for. And it's not your money. It is that credit card's money, that credit card company's money. Okay. So by federal law, you are not required to pay for fraudulent purchases on your credit card. Now, this is not legal advice. Go double check me on this. Go back and look it up. This is not legal advice. Consult a lawyer. Do not come after me, bro. I'm just telling you, that is the federal law, okay? So you definitely do not want to swipe a debit card. You want to swipe a credit card so that you can get your money back immediately. Or in this case, when you swipe a credit card, you don't lose your money at all. It's their money. Now, my third point as to why you're always going to want to use a credit card over a debit card or cash is credit score. I want to talk about the things that affect your credit score and how a credit card can help that out, okay? So the number one thing that weighs, good or bad, on your credit score is payment history. Are you making your payments on time? Okay. Number two would be credit utilization. How much of your total balances are you using on your lines of credit? Okay. Now, to dive into that second one a little bit more, let's say, for instance, you have a credit card that has a $10,000 limit and you're using $5,000 of that $10,000 limit. Okay. That's a 50% utilization. Now, to lenders, that looks terrible. It's like, hey, he only has $10,000 available and he's using $5,000. He does not look like a very responsible borrower, okay? On the other hand, if you have 10 credit cards and you're still using that $5,000 balance, you have $5,000 that you're utilizing, and you have 10 credit cards, each of them have a $10,000 limit. That is $100,000 that is available to you, okay? So that gives you a total percentage of 5%. across all credit cards. So now if you were to come to me as a borrower and I pull your credit history, I'm gonna say, wow, you have $100,000 worth of credit available to you and you're only utilizing 5%. This is what creditors look for, and this is what is gonna help you to get a great credit score. Now, if you're like my family, or most families, people hear credit cards and they're just like, oh my God, I don't want credit cards. I don't want a credit card. Let me tell you how millionaires use their credit cards, okay? They basically use their credit cards like debit cards. What most people don't know, guys, is that regardless of your interest rate, if you swipe that credit card and you pay it off immediately or before the billing cycle is due, you will not pay interest on the balance you have on that credit card. So what does this mean? This means that you can use your credit cards just like a debit card. You can swipe it and pay it off. Swipe it, pay it off. Now, what does that do? One is gonna give you payment history, okay? It's gonna show that you're making multiple payments, you're paying your bills on time. Number two, you're going to get rewards. So you're swiping, you're getting rewards. You're swiping, you're getting rewards, and you're not paying any interest. This is how millionaires make money. Every decision a lot of millionaires make either comes down to one of two questions. Am I gonna lose money on this, or am I gonna gain money on this? And they realize that they can use credit cards to leverage their spending. You're gonna spend the money anyway, guys. If you're gonna spend the money anyway, why not get rewards? Why not get points? Get something back, okay? This is one of the many things that separates millionaires from everybody else. They carefully look at their daily habits, regardless of how big or small they are, and they ask themselves, how can I maximize this to work in my favor? Now, if you don't have a credit card, I recommend, or it just depends really, if you don't have a credit card and you're looking to get started, start on some of the smaller credit cards. I am not affiliated or sponsored by or paid by any credit card companies, guys. So some of the credit cards that I first started out with, when I was 18, I had a Discover It card. Now they killed me on the interest rate. But again, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is, because as long as you pay it before your billing cycle, you are good. Now, the most important rule of credit is if you do not have it, do not spend it. Simple. So many people swipe their credit card and think, oh, I'll just pay it off later. I can pay it off another time. I get paid next week. And what happens is it snowballs. Then the interest starts to accumulate. And before you know it, you have a ton of debt, your utilization is too high, and your credit score is gonna take a hit. Pay the credit card off as soon as you swipe it, or at least before the billing cycle is due, because some of the worst debt you could have is credit card debt. Because when that interest kicks in, you're literally spending money on money that you've already spent. It makes no sense, and this is not a habit that millionaires practice, okay? Now, with all of that being said, I want you to take a deep look at your utilization. I want you to ask yourself where your credit score is, and then see how you can improve. If you have 3 or 4 credit cards, make sure that you're keeping the utilization low. Make sure you're paying them off on time and you're not paying any interest. If you're one of the ones who were brought up like me and you just happen to just not have a credit card whatsoever, go get a credit card ASAP. And then look at your credit score. So if you're looking to build credit because you really don't have any, go start with the credit card. Something as simple as a Best Buy credit card, a K Jewelers credit card. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these guys, any of these companies, but there are numerous ways for you to build and establish credit through credit cards. Just be responsible, use them the right way, and you'll be set, okay? I hope that this helped, and I will see you all in the next video. Please, before you go, if this information helped you at all, please like the video, comment, let me know how you liked it, and subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you can get all of my future posts. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.